When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
What is Cafe Mocha? Cafe Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is Invo.
This is India Ari.
So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
It's radio from a woman's perspective with Lonnie Love, Yo-Yo, and me, Angelique. We're going to talk a little politics this weekend with the new president of the Rainbow Push Coalition. We're going to get into Jesse Jackson's legacy and the state of Black America. Yo-Yo got a bunch of stuff going on. Happy 50th anniversary.
It's downright delicious. I'll be whipping in that kitchen. Every dish that I'll be making be what? Finger licking, whether it's lobster rolls or steak, 7 cakes up, penny pasta. Who got you? My kitchen's hotter. Mamma Mia's daughter. All right, I'm cooking with Yo-Yo.
I know you said penne pasta, but it really sounded like you said penne pasta.
Like all of that, girl.
You know, I'm from Cali. 10 is 10. Terry is Terry. You know, we say things a little different. The cooking show has been going so well. Downright Delicious, only on Aspire. Every Tuesday night, you have Downright Delicious with Yo-Yo. It's become so successful for myself. And, you know, that's my happy place where I got a chance to really talk to my family, bring people inside my home, share a dish, share a conversation, and invite them into my life. Only on Aspire. 50 years of hip hop. We've been blowing up everywhere. Have you guys seen any of the shows? Have you made it to any of the hip hop shows?
I saw you on Essence doing your thing.
Well, I saw you at the award show doing your thing. So yeah, we see you.
BET Hip Hop Awards. It feels so good to see the bridge being connected. I mean, 34 years for me in hip hop. I'm seeing Curtis Blow. I mean, Public Enemy, and just a range of people sitting on the stage with T.I. And we've never really crossed paths outside of just performing, but to really celebrate hip hop together really is a special place for us. So Grammys 50 is coming up. We are taping November. It's airing December the 10th, and the Grammys is celebrating 50 years of hip hop. You'll check your girl out. Cafe Mocha's very own YO. Celebrating 50 years of hip hop, representing the IBWC and all of the things that hip hop has done for me.
That is so wonderful. How does it feel, celebrating 50 years? I mean, really?
The trials and tribulations have been so up and down, Lonnie, starting at 17 years old, being 52 right now. It really has been a complete challenge, a complete struggle, just staying with it. I mean, like you said, in anything we do, just finding that in between. That's why all of the projects that I've been a part of, Martin, Television, Boys in the Hood, Strap, you name it, has been so successful and helpful for me. But the biggest challenge for me was the journey to continue. And that was getting real with myself, finding my truth, and hip hop being able to challenge me.
Speaking of hip hop, we cannot talk about hip hop without talking about Tupac. And of recent news, there have been a lot of movement in his arrest of his killer. What are your thoughts on that, Yo-Yo?
I'm very happy to see that they've come up with an arrest. They've been talking about it for a while. And at some point in my life, I've put it on the back burner, like, oh, okay, you got to go on. You just can't let that harper on you. The fact that they're saying so many people were involved, people were connected with it. It's just so many. Still, I'm just waiting on them to come to the final decision of what really happened, put it out on the forefront, and let Tupac and his fans rest.
Why do you think
and his family
this enigma still, after so long with Tupac and with Biggie, like this longing of their music and the mystery and understanding what actually happened with them? And it was so much play going on. I mean, it was so much it was political, to be totally honest. I mean, you had a lot of police officers involved with this murder. You had a lot of people in higher power connected to
these individuals who had some kind of connection, and it just was a sticky situation from the beginning, so to see it finally coming to an end really feels good. I know to the family more important than me.
Well, happy 50 years of hip hop. You are part of this legacy and history.
I have to ask you and Angelique one question.
Oh, okay.
When you think of hip hop, 50 years of hip hop, what comes to your mind? What song would you like to hear, Lonnie, if they said, we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop? Lonnie, give me one song. What's that song?
Oh, it's so many songs, but it would probably be It's Like That from Run DMC, because I can remember when I was in college, me and my friend, we had a talent show, and we dressed up like Run DMC.
Shut up.
and we did It's Like That. And then I can remember Run DMC came to Prairie View, and it was like we were in the front row, and I will never forget that Ron looked at me and my friend, because we knew all the songs, and he said, these two been jamming all night. It was just the best. So It's Like That. That's my song. What about you, Angelique?
I'm sorry. I know this is going to sound crazy that I would love Players Anthem by Junior Mafia, but I love Junior Mafia. No, that's
I was going to say something from Frank Sinatra. Like, girl, you're not a rapper.
New York, New York by Mr. Sinatra. But I also like Junior Mafia.
That's funny. What about you, Yo-Yo? What do you think when you think hip hop?
Well, Slick Rick for one, or here's a little story I got to tell, or the Beastie Boys about two rap.
We asked
Beastie
for one
Boys.
song, Yo-Yo.
Okay, I'm sorry. I would have to say
Yours.
I said a hip hop, a hip to the hip, a hip a hopper. You
that
don't
started
stop
it all.
to the bang bang. Yes, that started it all.
That started it all. Rappers Delight, Sugar Hill Gang
Rappers
started
Delight,
it all.
Sugar Hill's Gang. Yes,
Definitely. Definitely. We didn't think hip hop would make it this far, but it did, and it will continue, and we will continue. This is Cafe Mocha.
On the way, we're talking to the new president of the Rainbow Push Coalition. It's Cafe Mocha, Angelique, Lonnie Love, and Yo-Yo on the line. Dr. Pastor Frederick Haynes, the brand new president and CEO of Rainbow Push Coalition. Welcome to Cafe Mocha.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to share with you. I appreciate what you all do for so many, and for the beautiful energy that you bring, but also, most importantly, for the service that you render. Thank you.
Well, congratulations on being announced as the new president and CEO of Rainbow Push Coalition. What does it mean to follow in the footsteps of Reverend Jesse Jackson?
Well, I guess I could begin with wow, OM to the GZ. I could go on and on to talk about or utilize superlatives that first speak of how much I admire and respect and appreciate Reverend Jackson. Reverend Jackson has achieved the status of being an icon, a legend. As far as I'm concerned, he belongs on Mount Rushmore when it comes to great leadership. He has changed so much in this country and around the world, because he never has been limited to impacting America, though he has. He also was the one who went to Russia, who went to Armenia, who went to Iraq, who went to Syria to rescue persons who were held hostage, and how we need that kind of Jesse Jackson spirit today. So on the one hand, I'll say that, wow, because he is without question one of my heroes, a game changer. And so the fact that he would, tap me to serve as his successor is beyond mind blowing. I'll be honest with you and say that when he first approached me about it, I asked if and I know he doesn't drink. I said, well, did you start drinking? Are you smoking? Is there something, wrong? Because you must be out of your mind. And I say that with respect, but you done gone crazy. So, so don't judge me, but I was concerned.
Nobody's out of their mind. The announcement garnered the attention of the White House. The Vice President Kamala Harris personally congratulated you on your new role. How did that feel?
Oh, wow. I mean, again, you're talking about a double barrel I'm making up a word now, blown awayness. That's all one word, okay? Hashtag blown awayness. Because Kamala Harris, I've known her for many years, but I've always, again, been looking up to her. I met her when she was DA in San Francisco. I grew up there. And so to have the vice president, give me a shout out is something that I will cherish forever.
It's Cafe Mocha. On the line, Dr. Frederick Haynes, the new president and CEO of Rainbow Push Coalition. I want to get down to something that affects the community. And, every day on social media, we're sitting here watching and being bombarded by this police brutality on American citizens, on Black people. And I wonder, as you look, what do you see your role as sort of helping us through this time period?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Number one, I think it's going to be very important that I do what Reverend Jackson has been known for doing, and that is it's going to be so crucial that I show up in those spaces where injustice has taken lives. Injustice is ruining lives. Injustice is poisoning what it means to be an American democracy. And so first, it's a matter of showing up. Secondly, it's a matter of casting a vision of what this country ought to look like. And so as it relates to policing, I think that it is imperative that we rethink public safety. The word that has been used is reimagine public safety, because in a real sense, too many of us ain't safe when it comes to being policed. And there's a difference between being policed, which is happening on our side of town, as opposed to experiencing protection, service, and public safety, which is often taking place on the other side of town. And that has to do with, I think James Baldwin said it years ago. He said that this country had to reconcile its hypocrisy in terms of, okay, we call ourselves a democracy, but we're building this democracy on the backs of slaves. So what do we do to bridge what is a hypocritical chasm? And they came up with the 3/5 compromise, which basically saw us as less than human. And so when we see George Floyd with a knee in his neck, when we see Trayvon Martin killed the way he was, Mike Brown left for 4.5 hours in the streets, Baldwin is right. He said that they did not see us as human. And then he goes on to conclude, and because they did not see us as human, it's written into the Constitution of this country. The sad reality is what was declared about us back then continues to haunt us right now. And so as far as I'm concerned, it's very important that this country starts to see our humanity, because as long as you don't see people as human, you will treat them as animals, and animals, when they don't act right, you got to put them down. And so I think that our policing system, it sees us as less than human, and that has to be changed. And by that, I mean, we have to reimagine, okay, so what does public safety look like? How do we in this country move to creating the kind of public safety that sees the humanity of all people, as opposed to seeing us as threats, as weaponized, as persons who should be put down, as opposed to as persons who are humans created in God's image, who deserve protection, safety, and if it's necessary, de-escalation, because we've seen that the police know how to de-escalate folk they think is dangerous. I mean, when you look at what happened in South Carolina with Dylan Roof going into a church, killing 9 people, and yet they saw his humanity, bought him lunch at a fast food joint, arrested him, but guess what? He's still living. And all I'm saying is, if Dylan Roof can kill 9 people in church, and you see his humanity, can you not see the humanity of Mike Brown, of Breonna Taylor, of all of the persons whose lives have been taken simply because they were not seen as human? So that's our charge, and that's what we'll be fighting for.
Which I love so much. There's so much de-escalation we have to do within our communities as well. There's a lot of, mental illness amongst our men, our community that needs to be addressed. I know we need more Black men power in our urban communities. There's a lot of mothers crying out for help for their young Black men because so many fathers have been taken from the home. have not been able to be available for the family. Is the coalition, or have you thought about how the coalition is planning on coming back into the community, helping families who've been taken away from their kids?
Right. And so you just said the main word right there. With the coalition coming back into the community, that's the key. Offering a presence. And then one of the things that Reverend Jackson has talked about for years is this program of 1,000 churches connected, where in our largest markets, we organize 20 churches in the 50 largest markets. And we basically say, okay, we've got these church facilities that, except for Sunday and maybe Wednesday, are open, and we need to make them safe spaces for mental health. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing is partnering with churches around this country and creating safe spaces for mental health, creating freedom schools, creating citizenship education spaces where we educate people about voting, because I read something a few days ago that messed me up. 9.5 million Black people who voted in 2012, who voted in 2008, they don't vote anymore. They haven't voted since. They're still living, but they're not voting now. We know they voted for Obama, but after Obama, they stopped voting. The question becomes why?
We need to create a place where mothers can drop their badass sons off that want to disrespect them because there's no man present. And my mother used to say, I'm gonna take you to CPS. I'm gonna drop you off. I'm gonna send you to the police station. You know, my mother used to say that, but now that's not a safe place for a mother to say that they want to drop their sons.
No.
We need a place that Black mothers can.
I like that.
To send their sons so they can get some structure.
Real talk. And so again, I think that's why the whole church model and partnering churches with the Alphas, the Qs, the Sigmas, the Kappas, and forming these coalesced bodies and connecting with our professionals who are already engaged in the work of counseling, mental health, the like. If we form a coalition with all of those, and we will serve as that hub that brings together that coalition, then we can begin to de-escalate amongst ourselves. I really like that you said that, because it's one thing to have the police de-escalate. It's another thing to make sure we know how to de-escalate in our own communities. I love that.
It's Cafe Mocha, Lonnie Love, Angelique Yo-Yo on the line, Dr. Frederick Haynes, new president and CEO of Rainbow Push Coalition. Dr. Reverend Haynes, how can people join Rainbow Push, and why should they?
Thank you for that. You can join Rainbow Push by going to our website, rainbowpush.org. I want to suggest we join Rainbow Push for at least 3 reasons. Number one, Rainbow Push has a rich history, and we're continuing that tradition of fighting for economic justice, economic equality. Last week, I was in Ohio at the headquarters for Honda, and challenging them to keep doing what they had started doing after Reverend Jackson threatened a boycott of them in 2015. And that is, we need Black-owned dealerships. We need Black procurement opportunities for Black businesses. We need to see Black people in the C-suite area in Honda. And because of his threatened boycott in 2015, Honda stepped up. And so we're doing that across the board because too many companies are getting rich on Black dollars, but the Black community is not benefiting from the Black dollars being spent with those communities. So we're about that. We're doing that. Number two, we should support Rainbow Push because of our educational endeavors. As we all know, there is an attack on our public school system. What's happening in Florida and Texas, basically you have governors who are campaigning to be grand wizards, and they are attacking public education. And Rainbow Push, it grew because Jesse Jackson was in the schools saying, I am somebody. And so we're going back to doing that. But we're also pushing for educational equity. We're also pushing for a curriculum that is culturally relevant and sensitive. And we're saying we're going to override what DeSantis is doing in Florida, what Abbott is doing in Texas, and we are going to push for education across this country that is culturally responsive, education that speaks to our kids and does not attack our kids because we are telling the truth about this country, about its history and what's going on. And so that's Rainbow Push. Also, the third piece is this, and that is Rainbow Push is going to be about engaging in the political process. I was starting to say earlier the fact that 9 million Black voters are missing since 2012. They're still living, but they are not voting. Reverend Jackson, during his 84 and 88 campaigns, Reverend Jackson registered 7 to 9 million new voters. We're going to pick that baton back up. We're already working with Until Freedom in Kentucky. We're working with a campaign that's taking place in the state of Florida with Melanie Campbell because we're going to register millions of new voters, but not only register them, we're going to educate them about the political process because we know civic government was taken out of schools to dumb down the public, and we're going to educate the public, especially our communities, to connect the dots between what's happening in D.C., in state capitals, in local bodies with what happens in their home, on their job. Because if you don't connect the dots, sad reality is we don't see the need to vote and be involved.
You know, Pastor Haynes, I am so glad you are leading the charge for us with Rainbow Push. Congratulations once again. And again, join Rainbow Push and Pastor Haynes because this is a very pivotal voting year coming up and just fighting for our rights. Thank you for taking that charge, Pastor.
And thank you. And thank you so much. I hope to work with you to get people registered to vote, to educate them about 2024, because 2024 represents a crossroads. This country is going to either continue toward becoming a democracy or this neo-fascist movement that we saw expressed January 6th, and in too many other expressions and manifestations, it's going to take us out. And so I hope that we can partner and make this thing happen.
We definitely will. Thank you so much for stepping into Cafe Mocha.
Hey, ain't no place like Cafe Mocha. I'm taking a sip right now. Thank you.
Love it. Thank you, Pastor A. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Reverend Dr. Frederick Haynes is the new president of the Rainbow Push Coalition. More on the way on Cafe Mocha.
We're at Cafe Mocha Radio.
Hey, this is Claude Kelly from We Sound Crazy with your Black Music Month Spotlight. Victoria Monet is an American singer and songwriter. As an artist, Monet released a second installment of her Jaguar trilogy, titled Jaguar 2. The album won Best R&B Album and Best Engineered Album, Non-Classical, at the 66th Grammy Awards, and featured hit singles such as Smoke.
And so I know I want the generation where that music was their prime to appreciate it, but also my generation to find some of the lyrics fun and use them as captions. So I want to have that juxtaposition.
Party Girls, and the RAA certified platinum track, On My Mama.
Hey, it's Angelique here. Walt Disney World Resort is bringing you the culture with music, art, and food. Imagine savoring Princess and the Frog's decadent bread pudding and berry beignets at Disney's Port Orleans Resort. Take in Disney's Animal Kingdom Park's Circle of Life Festival, celebrating the Lion King and more. Walt Disney World Resort is a place where you can come and celebrate with your family, and you can do it soulfully. Bring yourself to Walt Disney World Resort and celebrate the culture.
It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha, Angelique and Lonnie Love. Every DJ knows if you want to get the party going, all you have to do is put on the song Poison, watch what happens. People of all ages, races hit the dance floor. And the man behind the group, Belle Biv DeVoe, is with us right now, Mr. Michael Bivens. Hello, welcome to Cafe Mocha.
Thank y'all for having me. Hi, Lonnie. Hi, Angelique. What's going on?
You know, you got a lot happening, but let's talk about this documentary on All Black called The Hustle. Tell us about it.
Well, it's the story. It's as of today, it's a 55-year-old story. As I celebrate my birthday, it's taking you to the roots of where we come from. Orchard Park Projects is showing you the things that the New Edition story didn't show you, what the projects really look like. Some of the folk in the project that raised us, and it's the origin of New Edition. You know, some people think it started in a talent show. Some people think it started in a living room rehearsal. But we all met in a basketball gym. So it takes you places that the story didn't take you, and then it just chronologically moves you through my life, as an artist, as an executive, as a community guy, as a father, as a husband, all of the good things that you start doing as you move through life. You start evolving and you start figuring out the next step. So it's a great story from 1968 all the way up to 2023.
Wow. And why did you choose the streaming service All Black? Because I love All Black.
Well, to be honest with you, I was shopping it, and I was at ABC, and then I went through Viacom, and I found myself trying to help them understand there was a time frame I wanted it to hit. And a lot of people were talking 2024, but I knew with this Hip Hop 50th coming, we're going to be bombarded with so many stories and everything that I was like, listen, I got to get in before the runway get crazy. And it's just so happened, my producer, Yvonne, was working with AMC for the Harlem Festival. And I saw the gentleman, Mike, who was over advertising. He saw me speaking at a dinner. And we just became cool. And then he heard I was doing the story, and then they leaned into it and put me with Brett, who was over there at AMC. And come to find out, Brett was like, Mike, you don't even remember. I'm like, what? He said, man, when I wanted to be in the business, I reached out to Biv 10 Records, man, and I became an intern. So a dude that I gave a shot years ago in the 90s is the president of All Black.
Wow.
And I said to myself, yo, the circle is so real. But they just understood what I wanted, and they was willing to help me put it out when I wanted to put it out. And they're great people, and they did a better deal. The deal is right.
Hustle is streaming on All Black. So it's very important, people. And it's the inspirational story of a young basketball player from the projects with NBA dreams who changes the course of R&B music as we know it. And it's Mr. Bivens, Grammy winner, Bell Biv DeVoe, New Edition. It goes on and on. But you're such a businessman. I remember you sent me a jacket one time. You don't remember this, but it was through Yvette Nicole Brown, and you sent a jacket. Do you remember that?
I absolutely did. And she took care of all her girls. That's right. I sure did. Mm-hmm.
And you're always like the business aspect. Where did that come from? Was it your dad? Was it your mom? Is it just in you? Where did that come from?
Well, it comes from the title. I mean, I've been hustling, you know what I mean, since I was about 8 or 9, different hustles. I used to sweep floors at a barbershop to get a free haircut. I made up that job because I thought the barbershop I went to, the dude's shop was always dirty. And I'm like, dude, you need someone to sweep your floors. So I made up my job, and I got a free cut every Saturday. In the morning after that, I shot up to the supermarket, Blair's, and I bagged bags for the older ladies who wanted to catch cabs. So I bagged their bag, rolled the cart to the curb. You got 2 quarters then. You got a quarter bag and a quarter putting them in the cab. And then on Thursday, the bakery, the white guy in the hood that made all the cakes, he didn't like to take his trash out. So I take his trash from the front door to the curb and got $1 every Thursday. That was the beginning of my hustle right there. Those 3 jobs helped me understand the importance of keeping some money in your pocket.
Wow. It's Cafe Mocha. On the line, we're talking to Michael Bivens. His new documentary, The Hustle, premieres August 24th on All Black.
Take us back to that basketball court when you guys met. Take us back there. How old were you, and what happened that would later become New Edition?
Well, we were 10 and 9. You know, me and Ricky were kind of 10 at the same time, maybe for 1 month, and Bobby was 9. He's a year younger than me. And we were just playing in the gym, Orchard Park neighborhood gym. And Ralph and Ricky were on the Celtics. Me and Bob was on the Warriors. There was only 4 teams. And we just kind of knew each other then. But Ralph and Ricky were a duet, and me and Bobby was in 2 other groups. And so me and Bob stopped performing with the 2 other groups, and we merged with Ricky. And then we went and got 2 new members, Travis and Corey, which are in the movie. And I was in 78, and that didn't work out. 2 years later, we decided to do it again. And Ricky said, I think I got the right person. So then it was just Bobby, Ricky, Ralph, and myself. And then a year and a half later, Ronnie joined the group. So that was about 81, 82. And then boom, Candyville came in 83. So it was levels to it. It took us 5 years to get to the song.
What was it like, though? Because you guys were little boys, not barely teenagers. What was it like for you getting that deal and dealing with the business aspect as a child? That was grown man's business.
See, the picture's painted. When we got the deal, I almost didn't sign the deal. See, that's in the movie too. You know, like the deal didn't mean that much to me like it did to them. I remember I'm going to the league in my head. They're going to be Michael Jackson. So I almost didn't sign the paper. My mom pulled me in the hallway and said, "You're going to sign that paper. You're not going to leave that money on the table."
Okay.
And so because of that $500, she made me sign the paper. Because I thought signing the paper was going to alter my dream. But signing the paper helped my dream, the one I didn't have. So I wasn't into business. I was still kind of 1 foot in the group and 1 foot playing basketball back home. So every time we traveled to do something, it was almost like I couldn't wait to get back home. But they were, you know, having the time of their life. And so I was just kind of not into nothing, just kind of out of my element, you know. And it wasn't until some bad things went down with the money that I realized how much it affected them. It didn't affect me. But when I realized how much it affected them, then that's when I realized maybe I need to pay attention to something that everybody else ain't paying attention to. And that's when I started getting into business. But I didn't come through the door with a briefcase. I came through the door with a basketball. So, you know, it was kind of different. I was aloof. It didn't affect me one bit. Someone said, "Yo, they took y'all's money." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, well, cool." You know, it didn't bother me. It bothered our parents, though. It bothered Bob and Ricky. Them little cats was hot, but I wasn't hot.
Why wasn't you
hot? I ain't get hot for a minute. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. When you hear that story about the $1.87, right? They was like, hey, they went on tour. They came home with a $1.87. Right? And everyone was upset. But at that time, my mom was giving me $2 a day. So it didn't affect me the way it affected them. Because I felt like the group was 13 cents short, but I was 13 cents up. So it didn't hit me. It didn't bother me. But all the money we made and then to come home with a $1.87. That's how much I was out of it. I know that sounds crazy, but it's honest like I truth. When they told me the story, I was playing in the game. I'm like, damn, why y'all so mad? It's like, Mike, they took all our money. I'm like, dude, I keep $2 in my pocket every day, man. They ain't even register.
This documentary, Michael, what do you want the viewers to take away from your documentary, The Hustle?
A lot of redirection to happen. You know, no matter how passionate you are or how much you feel, you know, you need to be going to the left. If God directs you to the right, just go with it. You know, because I was living in a time when they used to say 1 out of 1,000,000 make it out of the hood to the league. But 1 out of 1,000,000 make it from the head into the music business too. So what they needed in terms of a little street, a little bit of grit, a little bit of fashion, a little bit of business is what I brought to them. What I needed from them was, come over here with us. We're good. We'll help you become better. You know, we're going to lead the way. You could just kind of sit in the background till you find your way. And it felt like it was a perfect marriage. What they needed, I had. What I didn't have, they were great at. And we just found a way to just click me in. Because you got to remember what I said. I was in the group with Bobby Brown, Ricky Bell, and Ralph Tresvant 2 years before Ronnie came. Them was 3 lead singers. So I'm just kind of like, you know what I mean? Hanging out. I'm dancing by myself. You know, it's lonely back there by yourself. You know, I ain't got too many parts. You know, it's not until Ronnie came, I was like, okay, now I got a little dancing partner, a little rapping partner, you know. So I'm hanging with that type of talent. So what I wanted them to get out of it is that I found my way. And not only did I find my way in something I didn't think I was good at, I also became great at it. And I was able to push some other people on. And I was able to really put some points on the board. And I was able to do it at a young age. So it's just almost like allow your redirection to happen.
I like that. Allow your redirection to happen.
How do you keep, because we see you guys, we see New Edition. First of all, congratulations for getting everybody back in the group. How do you keep it fresh, Michael?
You know how you keep it fresh, real talk? You pay attention. You know how when you cut yourself off and you're just in your own mirror, then you're only seeing your reflection. You got to move around. You got to see someone else's thing. You got to study someone else. You have to keep the knowledge of the new information And you can't just sit on what you just did. You got to look at, okay, well, what's the next layer? What's the next step? And, what's the next void? And that allows you to keep it fresh. It doesn't always come from you. It comes from the inspiration of somebody else.
The documentary is called The Hustle of @617 Mike Biv. We've got more with Michael Bivins coming up.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is The Espresso. I'm Angelique. LeBron James' son, Bronny, missed the opening game at USC. He's still recovering from the cardiac arrest he suffered over the summer. But LeBron is hopeful.
If he's cleared, then we'll be not too long away from him being back on the floor and back with his teammates and practicing and with the notion of being back on the floor and playing in game situations. So.
Voting rights activist Stacey Abrams knows why people are giving Vice President Kamala Harris so much grief.
We cannot ignore the misogyny and racism remain very prevalent in our politics. Our expectations are set for the traditional white male vice president.
And Yolanda Adams is back with season 2 of Kingdom Business on BET.
Someone shot me? You don't remember? I don't remember anything. I'm a walking miracle. I can fill the pews.
Let me be perfectly clear. You and Calvin no longer have a role at the church.
The Espresso's brought to you by Charmin. We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
It's Cafe Mocha. We're on the line with Michael Bivins. His new documentary on All Black is called The Hustle. As we close, any advice? Because there are a lot of young people out here, Michael, that they see you successful, they love your music, they know that you're an entertainer and a business person. Do you have any advice, especially for our young Black brothers today, on how to deal with business and family?
Well, like I said, you pray on it before you sign the paperwork. And you always try to look at it like, when I'm getting into a deal, do I have leverage to get out of the deal? Is it amicable? Can I go? Or am I binded by you? Do you have control over me? Or do I have control over my exes? And people don't realize that going into it because the advance is more than they ever had, or the opportunity is what they was waiting for, but then they get locked in. But you make sure you pay attention to how you get out. And remember, when you go into anything, you have 100% ownership of it. It's you that give away the rest. So be careful of your partner to make sure that, hey, this is my intellectual property, and I'm willing to give you a piece. But I'm not willing to give you all of my piece. So when I leave, you have everything about me and I have nothing. And in terms of family, know the difference between trying to do business with family, know the difference between staying close to your family while you're doing business, trying to have a medium that you don't get so consumed in your career that you lose sight of family. Because when you kind of go back around again and it ain't going down, you might have missed some moments with your own family because you was too busy, caught up in something else, and that you can't bring back. So you got to have a happy balance. So it's important to stay tuned. I call this like Clark Kent. It's like Superman. Wear your suit, wear your glasses, and then wear your cape. Go back to your suit, wear your glasses, and then wear your cape. Try to just do both. Some people lean on one side too much.
It's Cafe Mocha. Michael Bivins, The Hustle on All Black. Thank you. Yeah. Cafe Mocha's at Howard University for the HBCU First Look Film Festival for aspiring filmmakers. It's November 10th through 12th. Go to hbcufirstlook.com. That's hbcufirstlook.com. Until next time, you can find us on all platforms at Cafe Mocha Radio. Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Harmony from We Sound Crazy with your Black Music Month Spotlight. Missy Elliott is a pioneering American songwriter, rapper, singer, and producer. She emerged in the 1990s as part of the R&B girl group Sister and gained widespread recognition for her innovative approach to performance and music production.
Me, I'm super fly, super duper fly, super duper fly. Me, I'm super fly, super duper fly.
In 2020, Billboard ranked her at number 5 on their list of the 100 greatest music video artists of all time. And in 2023, Elliott became the first female rapper inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Being the first to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame means so much to me because I never thought that in a million years, like that's probably the top tier of making it as an artist.
Hey, it's Angelique here. Walt Disney World Resort is bringing you the culture with music, art, and food. Imagine savoring Princess and the Frog's decadent bread pudding and berry beignets at Disney's Port Orleans Resort. Take in Disney's Animal Kingdom Park's Circle of Life Festival, celebrating the Lion King and more. Walt Disney World Resort is a place where you can come and celebrate with your family, and you can do it soulfully. Bring yourself to Walt Disney World Resort and celebrate the culture.